This is day 71 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you would like to sponsor a day or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi share, it'd be very greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we are doing from Siman Mem Beis Seif Tes to Siman Mem Gimel Seif Daled Bad Bichlal. Test. V'da, you should know Sheish Mishakos have this. There is one who wrote, if you made a pocket, a sack for the tefillin, so even if you put tefillin there with the intent of then removing it, it's also. Is a double tefillin. The same thing if you had a sack made for some other purpose and you added something on it like a name or something for the purpose of tefillin, and then you put something in order to, even if you didn't put it in the tefillin in order to eventually remove them, also, it's forbidden for any other purpose, until you take away that which you added on, which I guess restores it to its original status. The Mishabur also passes that way. If you put something in there even one time with the intent of leaving it there in this status forever, I feel law as also, even if you did not designate it, it's also. Commotion is part of there, mace, in terms of something, similar thing happens when you devote something to the purpose of a dead body, such as shrouds, etc. The Gemara links the two concepts. It's not clear whether a verbal designation, when you said this should be for the purpose of wrapping tefillin, hadin kain, halacha is that way as well. Also, if you put something in the sack with the intent of removing it afterwards, it still becomes usher. Or perhaps only when the preparation designation is done by a action. Animal dasmanosa, then it doesn't work when the film with the intent of removing them therefrom. We can also have the suffix gamlin mace, also for a dead body. Be or dead sham. For the lashon there of the poskim, it seems like we specifically where you do a maisa. That's the halacha, but tzarchin we're not sure. Yud, Isa B'chulin, the Kotan Yesh Lo Maisa. Gemara Chulin says the Kotan has a Maisa, Ve'ein Lo Machshava. He doesn't have a thought. In other words, his Maasim have ramifications, and Machshavos have no ramifications. Therefore, Davash Neser Bazman Levad, something which can be forbidden with the designation in of itself, Kumagufa Kedusha She's Bar, like something which is essentially Kadosh in its essence, like we're going to explain. Hazmanas Kotan Lav Kumu. The designation of Kotan is nothing. I mean, Davash Kedusha. But if he designated something for Kedusha, V'niach bo ha-Kedusha, and then he put the Kadosh thing inside it, which is the Maisa, Asr. To Yesh Lo Maisa. Because his actions are meaningful. And that's the case. Also, designation through action can be performed by a Kotan. But on the other hand, a person cannot ask for that which is not his. The Chaim Reuven is min. Therefore, Reuven did the designation. The Shimon, Bashim, Nasim, Kedusha, and Shimon came put the holy object within it. Then, Alon Esar, it does not become forbidden. Koshkein certainly does but the designation of someone else, if the activity of someone else is meaningless, certainly the designation of someone else is also meaningless. It seems that if someone else designated this tefillin zeko, and the owner was agreeable to this designation, and then he put something holy in it. Or even if that other person put the tefillin, whatever it is, in it, but he did it with the consent of the owner, it also becomes forbidden. Because he becomes like his agent. If they stole a garment and they made it into okay, so he stole a kiss and made it into a kiss shel tefillin, and he acquires it because it's a shini maisa. Obviously, he has to do a Maisa to it in order for that to happen. Uvasaro, and he makes it forbidden. Okay, so again, like you said, it has to add something to it or whatever in order to change its status. Yeah, of course, Rabbeinu Ramah the cloth hamubel the shame filling. The Ramah writes that parchment which is cured for the purpose of filling also you may not write mundane stuff on it. That's Monica Gavin Gufa Kedusha Milsi, because designation for being having an essence of Kedusha is effective. Klamar, in other words, explains the Arukh HaShulchan. Hadam Mina has Marla Milsi, that would you say designation is meaningless? Zeu Shalo Begufa Kedusha, that's not with that, it's something where the item itself will not become kadosh in its essence. But it's going to be something which serves kedusha, like the tefillin sekach. But that thing which is going to be holy in and of itself, hasmona milsa. Hasmona is considered to be designation is considered as if it was as if a deed was done well. As money also means you designate for that purpose, and that suffices to make it kadosh and not be used for any other purpose. Mr. Brewer says that's only if you did a Maisa Gomer in the cloth. In other words, you did something to cure it actively, as opposed to if you designated the cloth, or there was or even he says if you fix the cloth and and scratch lines in it, that's not enough. It has to be what he calls a Maisa Gomer. I don't know exactly what it means. In any event, back to the Arukh HaShulchan, who I know is Mana Milsa by something which is kadosh in its essence. We learn from the calf whose neck has to be wrung in the valley where they found a dead body. That there, Mineshi Huva Kedusha, there where it becomes holy in of itself. That even before you do the Maisa, you read Dasa Lenachal Esano Sarto. When you bring it down to that place, it already comes Aser. The Davers and Vurvis and Andrew Sham. Your base. Arklefisa Yesh Shelo Gdolo. But base, this is a big question. You can Ekpa Saknu Mutala Social Yami Show Rosh Bechadoshim. In this case, how do we pass and you make a Shalyad out of a Shorosh if it's new Mishun Azmana La Milsahi? Because Azmana is not considered to be definitive. Batim Gufa Kedusha. Batim have Kedusha in their essence. But these are Fush Menachos. And that is explicated in Menachos, Taf Lamed Dalet. So I have to say that in the Shanos Mikdusha Kamul Kedusha Kalo, you have to say that in order to change something from a more severe Kedusha to a less severe Kedusha, Mutar Bezman Bilbad, that's okay, as long as only designation, I feel Begufa Kedusha, even something which in its essence becomes Kadosh. Because you're not completely depriving it of its Kadosh status. But to remove this object from the status of Kedusha altogether, also that's forbidden, even if you only made it Kadosh through designation, if it's the Begufa Kedusha. Varatsuos, the straps, cuss with the Lomik Begufa Kedusha, they are regarded that as not Kadosh in their essence, El Tashmisha Kedusha, but things like the Tefillin Zeko would serve for the Kedusha. But some will say the Gam Begufa Kedusha, that even in that which has Kedusha in its essence, Ein Azmano says Achiyase Maase Begufa Kedusha. Designation does not forbid the object until you do a Maisa in the Kedusha itself. I'm sorry. Kigon Beklaf Shetzchil Chtovela. Parchment, you got to start writing on it. But the Chtovela of Dibercha, only then does it become forbidden to write on it mundane stuff. I feel he's no love. In that case, even you made a condition, they had tonight moil ubegufa kedusha lishtamish bo chok kedusha. Tonight doesn't work in something which is kadosh in its essence to allow you to then reverse its kedusha. That's from the Shulchan Aruch Harav. But that's only by something which is kadosh in its essence, not something which serves for the kedusha. And there, kedusha works even when they're still holy. Kuf Nun Dalet. That could be explained much later on. As long as you're not going to use it for something repulsive. All those are in halachas of base batik nesios. Uladina nira kedas harishona. It seems like the first opinion that Hazmana itself, even if you didn't do a Maisa, the also things which are Kedusha, Kadosh in their essence. Came to Ramah Pasta came about Graz Kosav, the Rab writes the opposite. Mr. Bur writes that Shalom B'Mokam Achak, you should be machmir once you have cured leather, even for the Ritzuos, not to use them for something else. This all has to do with things which serve Kedusha, of a Tashmisha mitzvah, things which serve for a mitzvah, although Ner Chanukah is going to be an issue, but here he says, it's only Ner Chanukah. Okay, well, we'll wait a long time to get to Chanukah about that. But again, Tzitzis, Shofar, Esrog, Lulav, Chayetzebem, Hashem mitzvah below kedusha, they are mitzvah. They don't holiness them, even though they're muktzeh machmas mitzvah, as long as they're being used for the mitzvah. But that's not intrinsic holiness. And to kedusha mamish that's what he says last line. Even though the time that they're used to the points that they have a holiness upon them, ain't the kedusha mamish. It's not actual kedusha. Muktzeh machmas mitzvah. It's a lower level, something which is set aside on account of the mitzvah. But you can't use them at the time of their mitzvah. But after the mitzvah has been completed, you can use them for mundane activities. But I feel nice as a mitzvah and if you use them many times for the mitzvah, it doesn't matter. Each time comes muksa mitzvah, so not kadosh. You don't need a condition for that at all. If you have an esrog box, you can use that esrog box for that stalker box, whatever. After well, that might be mitzvah too, but anyway, for whatever you want after sukkahs is over, etc. The brackets here, says that Mother Avraham seems to say that the Tanai works even in something which is intrinsically Kaddish, it's Kaddish in its essence. That's why there's no designation. Which time Steve Dalit. But when there was designation, Tanai is ineffective, which because of Steve Tess, I and Sham Hete Viduk. Mem Gimel. How should you conduct yourself with tefillin when you need to attend your needs? We already know that tefillin require a clean body. You may not even pass gas when tefillin. And certainly not attend your needs while wearing them. And even when you only have to go to the bathroom, also you're not allowed to wear them. Certainly when you are, also means you're not even allowed to carry them, which is a big chumrah, of which, if that's the case, I'm not aware. And you're certainly not allowed to go attend your needs while carrying them. There's no distinction in this halacha between the sharosh, which is with higher kedusha, and the shiad with its lower kedusha. On the contrary, it's clear it's also the shalyat is forbidden. It says in Shabbos, I ain't sham. It says it's tefillin, plural, require a guf naki, a clean body that you shouldn't pass gas. I read naki, lashon rabim. It says tefillin. V'od, and furthermore, tefillah mikri achas, b'lashon hashas, v'lo tefillin. No. The first thing is the word tzrichin. Tzrichin is plural. The second thing is the word tefillin. That even the word tefillin is plural, because where it's not meant to be plural, it's when tefillah. Okay? Right. V'od tefillin mikri achas, b'lashon hashas, v'lo tefillin. V'av gama Torah shemara b'sif aleph, Shekas also because the base that he say b'chuli b'tefillin shebarosho. Why the Torah Shalom roll you now to put in go into the bathroom with tefillin on your head? Lost them yuta shiad. They're not going to say, but the shiad is okay. Even though there is somebody who says this, evidently ba'adore yontev and brachos pergimel osadik. El daslo fuke they come to preclude she'eno no some amakom tefillin when you're not putting them on the place of tefillin. In other words, they're not on the upper arm. El munachim b'yad l'cheko, but they're on your hand or held close to your chest. It's still usher. Avu adin shel yad, but the same in shul yad, not just shorosh. So long brackets here. Chen kosav magen avros yiglav chen b'asak b'asak yin halacha. Finally, a rabbi shem beis Yaakov udvar divrei tmuim. Whatever they said is astonishing. Chen b'skei Aaron bari chai k'mo shes mikosav bereitev. Ach b'av shades menachas nistapku b'zeh. They're not sure. V'gam arosh b'chasvil and siman yud beis hey b'zeh. Gam yidu yos safik yos Torah. Even going them, it's who's not sure about the status of tefillin when going to the bathroom. Still shayad. It's still safik yos Torah. And you have to be machmer. Koshken sharam lo yizkir zakal. Ram doesn't draw any distinctions. Mavor l'losh Gemara mavor l'hedge okay. That's clear from the language of Gemara. Yushu mach l'shabbos on beis and sham. Chasam min chalitza arba amos mikoydim. Not sure what it's referring to, but I guess the shalosh is supposed to take off 4 amos before. Yeah, before you get the 4 amos of the bathroom in the shayad, perhaps you can wait a little bit longer, but not inside the bathroom for sure. Beis, but the whole rabbi saying is kimu. Everybody, all of our rabbis agree. The according to this, the strict law of law, it's only for defecating. They're now to keep your tefillin on. If you need to urinate, according to the strict law of law, it's permitted to retain the tefillin on. The question is where you're urinating. There's limitation base kisei kavua, a place which is a permanent laboratory. The chashin shem yifnei bohem, where we're afraid that you might then actually come to defecate in them. I will basically say right, but in a temporary and ad hoc laboratory, just stand still somewhere to urinate. You're allowed to urinate even when it's on your head. Only when it's in your hand, not in the mokam tefillin. This is also for another reason, which shall be explained. The Chazon Ish holds them ikra din in our bathrooms. One can put on tefillin because they're so clean. But of course, we're not allowed to put on tefillin if one was afraid, like it says here, that one is going to then come to defecate. So even our very clean bathrooms would be forbidden regardless. But that's why the Gam Shem Barosha also Lishashtin. Rambam holds that with tefillin shrosh on your head, you're not allowed to urinate. Because of the time, and the reason they gave is because you might come to pass gas in them. And we seem to be compelled to say this because in brachas it's a question. The person allowed to go into a regular bath lavatory to urinate. Rabbeinu Shara says it's okay. Rabbeinu says forbidden because you might come to defecate in them, or might come to pass gas in them. So even those who say it's usher, ain't no elamitam gzeir, it's only on a decree. But he says that doesn't seem like pshat to me, and he holds us in suspense till tomorrow. Gimel, the language of the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch is also ikonis beis hakisei kavua. You're allowed to go into a permanent lavatory. To urinate with tefillin on your head. It's a decree lest you come to defecate. If you're holding in his hand, then you're allowed to urinate in a permanent lavatory. Basically, say arai, and if it's an ad hoc lavatory, mutar lashtim b'hem kshem b'rosh. You can urinate them even while they're on your head. But if you're holding them in your hand, you're not allowed to urinate in them standing up. Even holding them with your clothing. They should because you have to remove any drops which fall on your legs. Therefore, you take them off at a distance for amos. Give them to your friend. So what? According to this, the main difference between a permanent lavatory and an ad hoc one, is that their custom in a regular bathroom was to urinate sitting down, not standing up, and therefore there are no drops to wipe off. Varai, in an ad hoc bathroom, mashtim umad, then you urinate standing up. Because he tells us, and there are drops to wipe off. That's why the Rabbeinu, the Ramah writes in this language. Specifically, you're urinating standing up. Shita the us that you can't hold in your hand. The law of the basically say right. It's no different than an ad hoc laboratory. When you mashtim you shove ob afar tichoach. But if you are, and it says huadim, but it's kind of like, however, if you urinate sitting down, or in very very chopped up ground, where which will absorb the urine, so it won't bounce back on your clothes or on your shoes. The lake in the utilities where there are no drops. But basically, say aray nami shari, then that's even okay in an ad hoc bathroom. And there's no difference between permanent and ad hoc, except the kavum mistama in a permanent one. We assume you're urinating sitting down without right, and an ad hoc one mistama semu umar. You do it standing up, and because right now you're not expecting to defecate. There's no expectation that you'll defecate. I'm astonished. Causes a base in a permanent bathroom. So then we're afraid you might defecate or come to pass gas. Okay, so maybe in a temporary bathroom there's no such problem, but oh, so the question is, why is why is standing up helpful? Even if you're standing up, it's still possible you're going to pass gas, even if you don't intend to defecate. But talking about that, right? Like a gam chashash, zev to move on. But tzarachim, he's not sure why there is no issue of shemi afiach in a standing position. In the brackets here it says, "It's difficult to Gemara." According to those who are concerned about passing gas, that applies to wherever you urinate. Yet the Gemara only discusses the Shemi Afiach by a permanent bathroom. They say this, the reason the Ram regardless where you are, you can't urinate when on your head. This is not the way the Shas normally deals with such things. But based on what you're going to see in the Rambam coming up tomorrow, it works out well. The Mishnah writes that it's not just where the dirt is trapped up, but also a place where it's on an angle, slant, so the urine runs down instead of rebounding back on you.